Hey guys, Jen with Astro T. So today we're talking about the astrology of February, which should be a lot kinder of a month than January was. So we have a little reprieve between January and March, which I think will ramp things back up. So February is a little bit calmer. Think about what January was all about. It started off day one just after midnight with that attack in New Orleans, and then later on in the day there was that car exploding outside it was a hotel in Las Vegas, and then just after the full moon in Aquarius we had the winds blowing up, a literal and figurative fires everywhere, and just all over the place, and it just went on and on as Mars retrograding just slowly through Cancer, kind of almost retrograding, so maybe that was pointing to a lack of water that they had out there for those wildfires. Mercury also conjunct Pluto on that new moon that is today actually, and Uranus actually stationing to go direct today, and that is in Taurus. So is there going to be some mudslides, some unpredicted mudslides or something like that, because we have that Uranus in Earth. So let's hope not, because I don't think those people out there need anything more to happen to them. So on the first, we have Venus, who just began her pre-shadow period. I think it was the 28th, so 2 days ago, conjuncting Neptune. So, and then right after that, the North Node. And that's in that 27th degree of Pisces. So really getting to the end. So we start really kind of envisioning our lives and our happiness, maybe with a certain someone, maybe our financial, how we're doing financially, kind of envisioning, because this is Venus in her pre-shadow, just getting ready to go into a retrograde. So it's kind of like foreshadowing a little bit. So maybe you're getting excited for Valentine's Day. Maybe you're excited that you may be getting that proposal that you want, because it is going to be conjunct the North Node. So the North Node. So this is, our goals, what we're aiming for in life. So maybe it's that, maybe that raise that you've been looking for or hoping for, or that you've, dream big, positive affirmations, make it happen. I know I just started a new job, and every day I say to myself that I am capable, I am worthy, and I will succeed. And it's been going pretty well so far. So you just want to keep up that positive mindset, and just kind of what are you looking forward to as we start off the month? On the 4th, Jupiter will station direct at 11 degrees of Gemini. And this is as Venus is entering into Aries. Now, this is where Venus is in her detriment, of course. So that excitement, that, swoony kind of lovey, money, swooniness even, might start feeling impatient. Okay, where is this raise I've been looking for? Okay, where is this proposal? Where is this, man I've been looking for, or whatever you are looking for? You just don't want to sit at home. You want to get out there, have fun, and use that energy for good, and use it for, in a positive way instead. If you are feeling a little bit frustrated, you want to get out there and just kind of, be that Venus-y self of yours, maybe show off that new outfit that you have, but try not to be overly aggressive, because that does tend to happen when Venus is in a Mars-ruled sign. She can get a little bit, testy, a little angry, a little overly aggressive. So even those dominatrix vibes could be going on right about now. Your sex drive could be on high, and during Valentine's month, nothing wrong with that, right? So again, positive outlooks. So on the 7th, the North Node will conjunct Neptune in Pisces. So this is about really just taking that time to deepen your spirituality, because you want to really get in tune with yourself, to meditate, focus on that higher purpose. What is my higher purpose? What am I here for? What's the meaning of my life? You could have kind of that thought process, and meditation will help with any confusion you might be going through or any uncertainty that you might have if you've been second guessing your choices. So maybe if you're like me and you did start a new job and you start, oh, was this the right decision? You know, this is harder than I thought. You really want to just sit and focus, and again, those positive affirmations and really just meditating on it can let you know if your fears and your anxiety is unfounded, or maybe it is something that, you know, could be something that you might want to look into and work on a little bit. On the 9th then, so moving into the middle of the month, we have Mercury conjunct the Sun. So your mind starts getting really sharp. So that Neptune that was kind of, you know, messing with you a little bit, your mind sharpens up, you know, and it starts getting a little bit more, you know, innovative, creative, because this is in Pisces. So, or this is in the sign of Aquarius, this is happening. So this is about just like new ideas and different ideas, something out of the ordinary and not quite normal. And we could also be seeing that on a larger scale coming out in the news, that big ideas and big things start happening. Mars will also trine Saturn, and those ideas that we're having leads to the ambition and the will to really get things going, and we have the strength and the right mindset to make these ideas come to a success, because that Saturn is about just putting in the work and just getting what we, you know, getting what we're working towards. So just as you're starting to feel positive now, things are beginning to really take shape. So you're seeing, you know, whatever you've been working on kind of starting to come together. And then the 10th comes along, and with Mercury followed by the Sun, both squaring Uranus. So yeah, squares aren't so great. Expect the unexpected with Uranus, as always. And it could really be like I said, you know, described it before, like a stick in your bike spokes that just kind of like stops you dead in your tracks, or just like makes you have to change course really quickly, or just the fear of that happening. Again, anxieties might be a little bit high this month. So just because of where, you know, with this Mars kind of just sitting still, and then Venus getting ready to go retrograde, and she's in, you know, and not a great, you know, our personal planets aren't in the best way right now, so we could be having a lot of anxiety, a lot of fears, a lot of second guessing ourselves, and then with this square, you might just have that fear that just keeps eating at you, and you may have a sudden urge to just kind of change your plans or your objectives just in general, you know, because of this insecurity, because of this anxiety, and it kind of just will come out of nowhere. So on the, you know, Uranus, quick, you know, so it's going to come out of nowhere. All of a sudden you're just going to like maybe wake up in a panic or something like that. On the 12th, the full moon in Leo is at the 24th degree mark of Leo. And so this is a good time to really, you know, focus on where you're shining and where you're standing out. Where have you kind of taken the lead? So what part of your life right now is just really feeling good and feeling like you are in charge, that you really have control over? You know, take what you learn from this, because this is at, of course, this, you know, the highest waxing, the peak climax state. And, you know, so we're at the full moon, and this is Leo, and this is about you. This is about your heart and your passions. And so what is working out for you? You want to take what you've learned up to this point and fine tune it So as we wane down, we use, this for what will be coming next, because everything is just a rotating cycle. Every new moon is not going to bring these huge, giant revelations and, oh, I'm going to start this and it's going to be the greatest project ever. Maybe sometimes it will. But with this one, I think this is a great time to really see where you're standing out and where you feel in control and where you feel like, this is my shit. And this is where I am going to excel in life. And this is what you need to focus on. If you're struggling in these other areas, you might want to kind of leave that behind and just kind of focus on what you're doing really good at. Leave behind what makes you feel like in the background, because this is about you, you being the center of attention. That's that Leo, that's that sun sign. So then we get up to Valentine's Day, and that is on the 14th, of course, and we have Mercury entering Pisces. So again, getting back into a mutual reception with Jupiter that's in Gemini. So they're going to help each other out a little bit. So big news, big things going on maybe. So should be a really good day. I think tensions might kind of be down a little bit. So those anxieties, maybe that anticipation, that stress might kind of go down a little bit, because we're embracing that mutability that these two planets are in, because Pisces is very mutable, and as is Gemini. So you can change your minds, you can kind of change the way your attitude is, change the things you like, do something out of the ordinary, do something a little bit different. And with that Jupiter, you may even have a little bit of luck on your side. So you want to use that Jupiter to help you keep the faith and keep a positive outlook going. So then we move on to the 18th, as the sun will then follow Mercury into Pisces, and that is the beginning, of course, of Pisces season. So since many of us are still in the dead of winter, like here in New England, it's still going to be really cold at that time, the end of February, mid-February. It's usually not that great until we get to the end of March. So it's a great time to use this to just really reflect and open your mind and get in touch with inner you. Like I said, this is a month where it's really just about looking into yourself, looking introspectively, and just kind of trying to decide, like, okay, fine tune what I want, fine tune what I'm working on, and just work on you first, work on those anxieties first, work through them in your mind, see what is really important, what's not important, and then go from there. You want to just really get in touch with you. I think it's a good month for that. It's also a good time to just be creative, because this is, a lot going on in Pisces. That's creativity, just doing something different, maybe make some crafts. Also, it's a good sign of doing something nice for somebody. It's just being helpful, being compassionate. It's a very compassionate sign. A lot of water going on right now. So, that emotional we could use in a more positive way as well, and do nice things, which is going to make us feel better instead of us getting all, emotionally and weepy and just, I'm so sick of this weather and I want to get outside and blah, blah, boo-hoo. Do something positive instead with that. Like I said, maybe make some crafts, bring them to a friend, a neighbor, or a family member that has been, shut in. Maybe they're alone, they don't get to get out very much. Just sitting with them, visiting, and just having a conversation is also great. Do something nice for someone around mid-month, because some people don't have anybody, and so to just really give yourself and your time is really all you need to do to just make somebody's day. On the 20th, we have Mercury getting into a square with Jupiter. So before trining Mars in Cancer on the 23rd. So we may have some big news coming out, because Mercury squaring Jupiter. This is big, over the top, oh my God, news. This could also have to do with the Uranus aspect that happened a few days prior. So, and then it's going to trine Mars. So this could bring about, some people feeling uneasy. This news might not be received well. It could be something that makes people angry. It could make people confused. It could make people scared and not know how to react. But because it isn't a trine with Mars, it may be something that will eventually benefit by way of moving forward into that trine. It's kind of an up and away type feeling, I think, and it kind of makes me think. Now, I'm not sure. I haven't even checked, and I probably should have checked when I was writing this out because it put the idea in my head. I think those astronauts are still in space that have been stuck up there. They were supposed to come back after a week, and they've been up there for months. Maybe this is the time that they're going to come back, and that's going to be the big news, and that's going to be that up and away feel where that Jupiter is just blasting off to go get them and bring them back home, and that would be great news, I'm sure, for them and for their families, and just in general. I think it would just be a good thing if they're still up there, but otherwise it's going to be something else, I think. That is probably going to end up being really positive because we have that Mars in there that's really kind of giving it that little boost, even though Mars is standing still. Really here, it's at that 17 degrees of Cancer, and it's been there since the 12th, and it's going to be there until March 8th. So it's really just hammering down at that 17th degree, and it stations at 17.0 degrees. So if you have anything there, you're going to feel this. If you have any personals, luminaries, or angles at the 17 degrees of the cardinal signs, especially of Cancer, you're gonna probably feel this, and it might be a super overly emotional type thing too, because it's in Cancer, so you could just be bubbling with emotion. So it could be great news, but it just you could start just crying because of your happiness about it. So might also though feel a little bit anxious and a little bit impatient again, because Mars just likes to be difficult sometimes. Anyway, on the 25th we come around to Mars conjuncting Saturn, and that is in Pisces, followed by Mercury and Mercury sextile to Uranus on the 27th. So rationality and practicality is really key here to keeping your mind focused, because we have Saturn in there just really kind of making you come back down to earth again. So if we did have that up and away, that head in the clouds type thing, now we're kind of settling back down to earth. Saturn is kind of pulling us in, pulling our balloon string down, and keeping us a little bit in check, keeping our minds in check so we don't go floating off. Being really practical is good at this time. And Uranus is probably bringing some big news again. So really being able to keep your wits about you is a good thing about right now. And then we move on to the new moon at the end of the month on the 27th, and this is again at the 9-degree mark. So this one's in Pisces. So Pisces again is a sign of compassion. It can be emotional though. So I would expect this month to really be just kind of you're in a boat and your emotions are going up and down, and it's just the water's just sloshing and sloshing. You're all over the place. Because there's so much water going on, because Mars is in Cancer, really just drilling down in Cancer. So that's really in our guts, and really just getting in there and just you could just feel so mopey and so sad. But you're gonna want to also remember that Jupiter, giving those positive vibes, keeping your spirituality in check, keeping your positive vibes in check, and just really being positive. And of course, that's always going to help just kind of boost your mood even when you're feeling bad. So look in the mirror. I think saying things out loud works out a lot better than saying them in your head, because it's really you're kind of forcing it. Like, I am forcing this to happen because I am forcing myself to actually speak the words. So to kind of, you know, keep your mind at ease, keep yourself in check. Again, you're going to go deep with those emotions, and if you have to cry it out. It's fine. If that's the way you want to get it out, don't take it out aggressively. You know, and you just want to know how you feel about things moving forward. Because again, you want to take, now that we're back into that moon, what did we learn? What were we really in the center of attention? How are we really excelling and succeeding? And that's what we want to take with this new moon and move forward from that. You know, what hasn't worked, what has, or what hasn't made you feel good. So, you know, the water signs are about feelings. So that's why you want to get in touch with your feelings to know, okay, this didn't really make me feel that great, even though I might have been good at it, but I just wasn't feeling it. Maybe that's what you need to kind of step away from. And this is why being in touch with your emotions is a great thing. And it's a good practice for really just getting ready for that Venus retrograde that's coming in March, where, you know, our heads could be all over the place. We could be overly aggressive, and we just don't know what's going to happen. Lots of things in history have happened during these Venus retrogrades. A lot. You know, things are coming back, maybe even styles coming back, you know, trying something new. Maybe, you know, if you did purge your closet, you kept some things, and maybe all of a sudden you're like, you know what, I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to bring this back. So who knows what's going to happen. But I think this month is really going to be a nice settle down from the crazy January that we are just finishing up right now. We have tonight is the new moon coming up, and so hopefully the new moon's going to bring just some calm and comfort. And this morning we had that plane crash, and I think that, and I wrote this down, because we had Mercury involved, we had Uranus involved, and so it's just like a sudden stop. Of course, we have, you know, Mercury, and that's transportation, or I think that they crashed into a helicopter, so it could have been that, you know, the communication was down and they weren't able to communicate, or, you know, the transportation got stopped abruptly, which is what happened, unfortunately. And it's a really sad thing, and just a really horrible way to end a really intense month. So let's hope February is a little bit better. And make sure, if you are doing rituals for the new moon tonight or for the full moon, use a lot of water in your rituals, because it's a very watery sign going on. Use your moon water. You can wipe it on yourself or whatever you want to do. It's going to make you feel a little bit better. So if you like this video, please acknowledge and hit the like button. It really helps out to boost the channel, so we can kind of get the word out there to everyone and make a bunch of new friends. Also, please subscribe and get notified, because we are going to be breaking up all these different influences and really fine-tuning them as we do every month, and just kind of really getting to know. We've got a lot of other stuff going on the channel, so you definitely want to get notified, and I will see y'all soon. Bye bye.